Do we have like a starting soon stream or anything? Or a screen?
No, we are just live right now, actually.
Oh, hi. How are we? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to get this started. Why the hell can't I? I haven't been on any streaming things for so long that I'm trying to remember how to do it. So, okay, let me go back to this.
Well, Siri, oh, there. Okay, so everything's popping up. So it looks like it is
Yay, it's working.
It's working. We got it working.
Hi everyone. We got people. How are we? All right. Today we are doing episode 1 of Nerdlationships. We kind of, I don't know, we talked about this about maybe 6 months ago-ish about doing a podcast like this, and I think actually maybe it was a little longer because I think actually I was single then. But
I think you were. I think, or at least you might have been talking with Squez, but I don't know.
I'm not. I don't know either. But okay. So yeah, this is gonna be like a right now twice a month podcast. And we will be talking about different things like anything to do with nerdy stuff and relationship stuff. Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. Like if you've maybe gone to a con and had a partner that wasn't really nerdy but went with you, how did that go? Just different kind of things that might involve nerds and relationships. All right, Cheeto, how about you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Cousin Cheeto. So for any of you out, I know we're doing this on Winnie's channel, and we're also doing this on NerdTube. So but a lot of people over on NerdTube know me. But just a little bit about myself. And so with this podcast, my thought was that we're going to talk a lot about ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we're going to kind of put where we're at in life. Like, with at least for me with this podcast with NerdTube, it's like I do try to keep a lot of my personal stuff close to chest. I just talk about like what the topics we are, but with this type of podcast, it's more of like, we kind of have to be really open. You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously information we won't be sharing, if we feel like it's too far, but at the same time, I'm coming into this being like, I'm an open book. Now I'm not handing out my social security number, Rick B. So stop asking. but yeah, so, but anyway, so yeah, so just a little bit about myself. If you are unfamiliar with me, I live in Ohio and I have 2 teenage kids. So a boy and a girl. So some of you may know that, some of you may not. I own my own home and then all the bills that come with it. So for me, like one of my biggest struggles is I'm in a single parent household that, with 2 kids. And, although I don't have my kids 100% of the time, I have them 50% of the time. There's still a lot that comes with that. Keep the STDs to yourself, Cheeto. Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
What are we talking about?
Why do I have to keep Star Trek Discovery to myself?
Ew,
I will not keep Star Trek
Nobody
Discovery.
wants that. Because nobody wants that.
Get out of here. So I stream retro and nerdy games for console and PC. I have, I've been playing those types of games since I was younger. And I played Atari and NES, and I really became a gamer around the N64 era, PlayStation 1 era. So, so that's kind of where I'm at with all of that. My hobbies are collecting comics, cards, games, and of course, Funko Pops that float my fancy. Because Ginger Greek loves these.
The only time that this is cool.
Ginger Greek loves these. So okay. My son is a streamer also, and that believe it or not actually comes with its own challenges. I love Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Marvel, and DC. Duh. And Ginger Greek. I love Ginger Greek.
We all love Ginger Geek.
It's Greek. Don't call him Ginger Geek. He freaks out. He freaked out on me one time. He's like, "It's Ginger Greek." I was like,
I wondered if I'd elicit a response. Okay.
So, yeah, right. I try to elicit a response. Okay, so the one thing I do want to say about this podcast, though, is I'm gonna turn them sideways and shove them. Yes, that's correct. So the one thing I do want to say out the gate with this podcast, and this is my last point about myself, is the things that I'm going to say, I'm going to be pretty open about. I am not fishing for compliments. I'm very not deterring.
S-
What's the word I'm
Uh,
looking?
what's the word?
Defamating,
Yes,
self-defamating, not
deprecating,
self-defecating,
deprecating.
deprecating. Yes, not defecating, deprecating. I'm very self-deprecating. I know it drives people nuts. It's how I feel. And I'm not fishing for compliments. And I would just like for people not to be like, "Oh, shut up. That's not true." Blah. No, it's how I see myself. I'm in therapy, and maybe that'll get better. But truth be told, I'm not like fishing for not fishing for compliment or to be defecated on by gingerbread
I
cake.
don't need to know that part.
But that's it. That's my entire intro. So I'm like, that's kind of where I am in life. And then obviously we're going to talk more about relationships as we move
Thank you,
along. But
Ginger.
that's where that's where I am in my life currently.
Okay, so for me, I actually met Cheeto when we worked together. I was like 100 jobs at a nursing home, and he was a PT there. I don't know if that's too much. Sorry,
That's
but
fine.
we used to hang out like half the shift just talking about nerdy things. It was kind of awesome. So that's kind of how we know each other. I moved from Ohio in about August um, to the Washington D.C. area
She got sick
because
of me.
that's my, huh?
You got sick of me.
Yes, that's it. No, I moved there because I found Squez on Twitch, which I'm sure will be a whole topic one day of its own. But also Washington D.C. just happened to be my favorite city because not only do I like video games and collecting stuff and that sort of nerdy thing, I love history and especially American history. Um, I also stream on Twitch. That's where I started. I stream a lot of Disney, Dreamlight Valley. I stream a lot of Mario and Pokemon. Sometimes I stream some horror things. I stream Dave the Diver, which Cheeto hates because he hates sharks for some reason.
I do. I hate sharks.
Um, the other thing is I like to 3D print and craft and make all the things. So if you hang out around my channel or whatever when I'm by myself, you might see me do those things. I found Squez on Twitch almost a year ago now. Wow, that's crazy. Is when we started talking, and then I don't know. One day randomly, somebody was like, "Hey, let's play Fortnite. I'm gonna have these two random guys on," and I'm like, "No, I don't do that," and it just happened to work out. So yeah, that's about me. All right, so we kind of talked about this already, but we're going to go through it more in detail. Overall themes of the podcast. We're going to I'm going to talk about what I hope to see from this podcast. Overall, because me and Cheeto and I have ADHD, it's going to be lighthearted and we're going to try our best to stick to topics, but you already know me. If you don't know Cheeto yet, it's the same, and we just have fun. So that's the overall thing.
I'm
But
the one who coined the term tangent station instead of transit station. I am tangent station.
Rick B, please. So let's see. Every time we do one of these, which, like I said, as I said, right now, it's going to be about every other week. We're gonna have some sort of loose topic that we talk about. Um, I don't even think we came up with next week's topic, but we will. um, but it'll be something surrounding like how nerds navigate love, while being nerds, because that's kind of different than just being a cool kid who's able to do all the things. Um, I had a date once where I talked about that I 3D print. And because it's me, I went on and on and on about it. And he was like, I can't, I don't want to, I can't do this. You're too smart for me. And I'm not looking for that right now. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but okay. So yeah. But yeah, another thing I think we'll do is we'll have guests. So I know like Zam can't wait to be on, and probably Ginger, and but they'll have to do with whatever the topic is where we talk about. What about you, Cheeto?
I mean, I've talked to Major Rage. Mage is married to a nerd, and so I've actually talked with him about coming
Perfect.
on eventually. But that's kind of one of the things though, is that yeah, like bringing people on where like the topic is relevant, where it's like with Mage, it's like we were talking about it last night when we were talking about this, and he said it perfectly. He's like, yeah, like I'm like the single nerd. You're the dating nerd. Like Mage is like the married nerd to a nerd, and then like, but I have been married, or I was married to and dating somebody who really wasn't a nerd, and the person I was dating was also not a nerd. So it's like I feel like I can talk a lot about people that are unevenly yoked. Like
Mm-hmm.
a relationship that's unevenly yoked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I'm just excited. I am excited to get people like other people to kind of come in with us, like guest star and stuff like that, and get to talk about things. But for these first couple, we're just trying to get the kinks out. We're just trying to talk about the topics we
You
want
said you
to.
weren't going to talk about your kinks today.
Oh, it's early. We're only 11 minutes in.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
for this pie, I mean, really, what I want to do is just dive into the relationships of being a nerd, my experiences with that, my struggles with that, because I come to find that I have a lot of struggles, with myself, like the things that I do, because like I said, I stream,
Mhm.
I do the podcast, I do all these things, and it's like some people just aren't into that, and some people just don't understand that. You know what I mean? So it's just
Mhm.
like I've come across that a lot, and that's kind of why it's like, that's just something to unpack and talk about, those unevenly yoked relationships, even friendships sometimes that are like that. So that's kind of that's what I want to get out of this pod. And as I said, just hearing everybody else's stories, working through some things, you know, we can be Fraser Crane.
Oh no, I hate Fraser Crane.
Oh, well, we don't have to be Fraser Crane. You've got a relationship with your cat going on apparently. So
Yeah, apparently he's like trying to like he keeps moving my camera so you can see all the mess. So like randomly off topic, I sprained my ankle, so I've not been able to like set up my room the way I want it, and I don't have any lights, and he's not helping. So
right,
when he moves the camera, it shows my mess. All right.
Riker doesn't climb up on my desk and going back and forth.
Well, that's nice. I wish I need. Can we trade for a day?
No, my dad's allergic to cats, so no, I cannot.
Uh, okay. Um, so I know you've kind of already said this. We're gonna ask this at every beginning of every episode to see if it changes. Are you single?
Me, yes,
Yes. Are
100%.
you? Are you? Did you go on a date recently?
No.
Did you try? You went to Target.
Target going to Target does not mean going on a date. Like I didn't go to Target
You
with
could have
anybody.
found somebody at like that's like I feel like where you could find somebody.
No, no, no. So look, so here's here's going to be one of those self-depreciating things where but y'all need to, but like people don't look at me that way.
Hey,
They really don't. Like I'm not the guy that's like they're watching and they're like, oh, I'm going to show this person I'm interested, because I know that women don't like to make the first move. I get that. I understand. I don't want to make the first move, but that's kind of the social norms that we have right now. Honestly, if a woman made the first move, that would be fantastic. No, I go to the self checkout, Ginger. So I mean, I guess I could flirt with the cashier.
why do you think like nobody wants to ask anybody out? Like I feel like I'm one of the few people that like have been like, "Hey, I like you," cuz that's what happened with me in Squez. Do you want to pursue this? Like why do you think that there's a thing in the air of us not being able to, I don't know, talk to people.
Fear of rejection, really. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I've put myself out there over the past year to people, and it's just been, you know, and no, like not like hell no, but like it's been like no, I'm not, no, not interested, blah blah blah. And the one that I get that I hate so much is, well, and you're such a good guy. I'm like, you said no, and you said I'm a good guy. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I hate it when they do that. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not interested, fine. I can deal with that. But as soon as the word good guy comes out of their mouth, I'm like, fuck you. You know what? That just means I'm unattractive. Like, I'm sorry, it does. Like, it, that just boils down to you're not attractive enough for me. And that's fine. Like, all you have to say is you're not interested. Don't tell a guy that they're a good guy. Just don't even, oh, you're such good. You're not making it better. You're really, really not.
But you are a good guy.
Shut up.
Like you like, even when we didn't talk for whatever, because we were doing our own things, like I still thought about you. I still remembered those days at the nursing home, laughing and joking about whatever.
That's the future. Remember, when we're in the nursing home laughing and joking, that's when we have
Oh my
dementia.
Jesus.
And we're
I
not
will
talking about,
not be alive before I have to go into a nursing home.
right? Tell me about it.
But no, so fear of rejection, I don't know.
One thing we should probably just say before we get too far into this. So with
Okay.
with the chat over here, so
Yeah.
we're watching the chat, but we put it up on the screen because we're not going to talk about everything on the screen. Just so you guys know, like especially NerdTube, it's like, I know we normally try to always get to the chat. We may not get to every single chat. We will try to get to chat as much as possible, but we're not going to derail the whole conversation like I just did to talk about chat. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Especially when it's more of a topic sort of theme day, or if we have guests. Yeah, Chris says he's had people say, "Why can't I find a guy like you?"
Bitch,
And
I'm
it's
a
like,
guy. I'm a
wait,
guy like me. Exactly.
exactly. So like,
Exactly.
what the hell? Like, I get that. Like, I think I was reading this meme or something, or some sort of somebody's screenshot of text that was basically like, oh, I was sad, and my friend Austin took me bowling and took me to get ice cream and out to dinner and all this stuff. It was such a great thing. I'm so happy. And then basically she was friend zoned him the whole time. And said, I wish I could find someone like you. I'm like, he just took you on a whole ass date for nothing. Like,
And that's kind of like, that's kind of one of the things actually, I think in the outline notes that you sent me. That's one of the things that I put in here is that and I'm just gonna just, you know, put it out there. It's just like, we were talking about like what are some of the things you've gone through in past relationships. One of my notes that I put in here was, fighting the image that I'm a nice guy. I have stated, I've really started trying to change myself fundamentally recently in the aspect of not being the asshole. I don't want to be an asshole. I am sometimes, but I don't want to be. And I don't want to get rid of that nice guy image by hurting other people. But I still don't want to be seen as like the nice guy. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I want that. I want it to, and as I said, it's hard to get out of that image. I'm gonna get a face tattoo. Just something just like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I'm gonna get a face tattoo.
It's not as cool as that singer makes it look like.
Oh, you want to know? Okay, I am derailing this, but hold on. Can I please tell you something so funny about that? So where I work, where I work at now. So we had a guy that works in the kitchen, and he has tattoos on his face, and I'm like, could we just please have pre-Malone? I don't want post Malone. I'm sorry. There's an a-hole moment of mine, but I was just like, I saw that and I'm like, we hired post Malone. Can we have pre-Malone, please?
I just think they just try to hire anybody at this point.
Yes, that is probably true. Anyway, okay, back on track. I'm trying my best, Winnie. I really am.
You're fine. You're fine. Like, as I said, this one doesn't matter as much because it's just loose. It's just to get us into the feel. Let's see. Wait, you flirted with the cashier? I'm going through chat. Sorry.
Who did?
You. Ginger says you did.
No, that's the self checkout. That's what I flirted with. The self checkout.
Yeah, that's more like it. Hey baby, will you please scan my Pokemon cards? But
Oh
yeah.
boy.
So let's see. I myself have always seemed to find myself with a nerdy guy, or at least except for my very first major relationship. Um, but I didn't know my whole life. I didn't know until the last 5 years that I was autistic and had ADHD. Like I didn't get diagnosed until about 5 years ago. Um, so my very first major relationship, I was, I don't want to say his name. He was not nerdy. It was kind of like
Let's just call him Rick B. No.
leave Rick B alone. Uh, but he was not nerdy. He was like I didn't know then that I like I said I was autistic, and I would be like Mario has 256 bad guys or whatever at that time. And like I would go off into these tangents and he'd just be like, his eyes would glaze over because, I'm talking about very specific details. Like everybody loves Mario. It's like a thing. It's like if you hate Mario, you are don't have a soul. But after I would get so detailed into talking about whatever character or whatever thing, he would get all like frustrated and lost and confused. So, yeah,
See, that's my
that.
thing is like I've been with with when I was married,
Mhm.
my marriage, my only marriage, by the way. Uh
Rick C. Then.
yeah, I mean she wasn't nerdy at all. Like
Mhm.
she kind of seemed nerdy back when we started dating back in high school. But yeah, like but she wasn't really all that nerdy. Like you say, like you go into these like big long tangents about like I'll go into big long tangents about how warp speed travel is actually feasible in our current universe, and it was actually an ingenious step by Gene Roddenberry to actually kind of figure that out. I think he kind of stumbled into it, but still, it is something that is actually feasible.
Mhm.
Um, and so and but she would just be like, oh, okay, like okay, and so I just back then I really didn't see it like as I do nowadays, that eyes glazing over and stuff like that, and I don't blame somebody for that. I just
No.
I but like there's a difference between being like listening and kind of trying to absorb something and then being dismissive, like
Mhm.
without saying anything. You can be dismissive and not say anything.
Mhm.
So that was kind of how it was in my marriage, is like being dismissive without saying anything. So
Rick B has a good question. What made, if you're comfortable, what made the marriage break down? Did it have to do with your nerdiness? Did it
no,
have to do with?
no, nothing like that. There was, yeah, I might as well be honest. There was infidelity involved, not on my part, and it just wasn't working out. She was sabotaging the marriage in any way she could because she wanted out, but she didn't want to be. This is my opinion, kid. And keep in mind, I'm a big proponent of you need both sides of the story before you know the full thing. So
Mhm.
everything I say here about my previous marriage, my previous relationships is my side of the story. I mean, like if you talk to my exes, they have their side of the story, and the truth is usually somewhere in between. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So I'm a big proponent of that. So everything I say is my like version of things, but I'm not going to lie, but it is definitely my point of view of things. So anyway, but yeah, definitely she was trying to sabotage the marriage and every chance she could, but she didn't want to be the one. In my opinion, she didn't want to be the one to ask for the divorce, so she forced me to do it by doing everything she could to kind of push that way. But she
Mhm.
wanted to keep the image of, oh well, and then she tried to tell everybody, yes, but you are a white man, so we believe you.
Ginger.
um but yeah, like it's and so but with all of that, it's like and then the next thing she did, she went out and she told everybody, oh, he asked for a divorce. Yeah. And a lot of people were like, can you blame him? And at that moment I realized, you know what, I don't need to tell people, like this, that, and the other. Like people know, people are not stupid. Even though they're outside of a relationship, so many people saw through her bullshit at that point in her life that they were like, no, we see why he would, like we're not stupid,
Right.
we see the writing on the wall. So that was kind of like one of those like grown up aha moments for me was, let people be their shady. I'm going to be what I'm going to be over here. And that's, and I try to be as honest as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be as genuine as possible, and as I said, I mean, especially when it comes to things, there's two sides to every story.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is always in the middle. Whether it leans one way or the other, that's for, that depends on the situation. But like your version of events is never the 100% God's honest truth.
Mm-hmm. Even if you try to make it be. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yes.
I'm first off, I'm sorry that happened to you. I,
I mean,
I
and
think
yeah, I
sometimes
honestly, I'm so much of a better person because of it, honest and truly.
right. And that's kind of what I was going to say. Like, I think we have to go through some things sometimes to like just learn about ourselves and learn about how things are should work and all that stuff. So I think at least maybe you got that out of it.
I mean, the person that you met when we worked together was 100% a different person than you would have met if you worked with me like 10 years earlier, or 5 years earlier, or whatever, like, during my marriage. Like I am 100% a different person today than I was back then.
Can you elaborate on that? How so?
Um, so back then I had this very cut and dry look on life. For me, like a little background on me is that, so like in regards to marriage, so like my parents are still married. My parents have been together like since my mom was like 18 and my dad was like 20 some, like 22 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like my perception of marriage back then was, my perception of marriage back then was you fight for the marriage no matter what. My parents didn't really fight in front of me and my brother. So, that
Mm-hmm.
I have one other sibling, a brother. They never fought in front of us. And I honestly felt like that was more to my detriment because, and not saying anything bad about my parents. They're fantastic parents. Don't you ever tell them I said that because I will deny it, even though it's on the internet. But
They're old now. They don't know how to get on the internet. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm gonna clip that and send that to my mom. But but like my perception of marriage was you fight through it no matter what. So I tried really, really, really hard to keep the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I should have known a while ago, like a while before that it was done and it was over. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So I got two wonderful kids out of the marriage. I love my kids. Anyone who knows my kids knows that they're pretty good kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just like it's like everyone said, oh, if you were to go back in time, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I might go back and tell myself to get divorced a little bit earlier, but not much before, because maybe a couple months, because there was a little while there that I knew what I had to do and I just was not willing to do it. But if I would have went back like, oh, don't meet her, don't marry her, blah, 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 I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the kids I have today. And I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't trade that for anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, yeah, I'm proud of who you are today. Like I'm proud to say, hey, Cheeto is one of my best friends. If I needed anything, if I called him at 2 a.m., he would do whatever he could to help me. Like that's the
If
kind of
I
person
wake
you are.
up, I'm not going to lie. I don't wake up when the phone rings. Just saying, just saying.
But I'm just saying you're the type of person that would be
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll figure it out. Let's but maybe you might not have been that person if circumstances were different or whatever. But I don't want to say you're a good guy, but you are a good friend to me.
I'm going to
And
ban
to
that
those
word.
that you're friends.
I don't know. But yeah, so, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I don't know. I was kind of just glancing through chat a little bit. So I think some people are sharing their stories in here. I can't. So and obviously people are sharing it in chat. They're probably okay with us sharing it, on stream. Neffin says, thank you for being courageous enough to share your side of the story. Thank you for being understanding and listening to me ramble.
You were not rambling.
Squeeth.
Squee the killer.
Squee the killer. I walked in on my first ex and friend. My second just walked out. Wait, my second. Okay.
I think there was just some infidelity that happened on his last relationship, and he walked in on it.
Second
And
just found out she cheated with a friend. Well, oh, your second marriage. Anyway, okay, yeah. I mean, and as I said, that's the stuff that goes around. It's like I with my experience with all of that, I could never do that to somebody. You know what I mean? And honest and truly, on top of that, it's like, why would you put yourself out there to somebody? Like, why would you try to enter in a relationship with somebody who, and I hate to say this, but it's kind of true. Like, how can you trust somebody who was not loyal to someone else, in the past? Like,
absolutely. Although people do grow and change, it's hard to say. Like, maybe when I was 16, I cheated on my boyfriend. I didn't, but are you going to hold that against me when I'm 36?
Well, okay. I can see your point there where it's like you're young and that, but like when you're like 25, when once you get past 25, like you should know better at that point. And like, as I said, we're adults at that point. It's like, like, if you don't want to be in the relationship, then say you don't want to be in the relationship and cut it off. Why do that to somebody? Now, there is, of course, the element of fear, because you do hear a lot of women say, well, I'm scared of what he'll do, but I don't want to be with him. And I'm like, that's a real thing, because some dudes are stupid psychotic, and I don't understand it, because with me, it's like, I'm like, no, if you don't want to be with me, I don't want you to be stuck with me.
Exactly.
Like, that's my relationship that ended like 2 years ago. I'm like, we just knew it wasn't working out. And she had been in a previous relationship where the guy was like stalking her after they broke up or whatever. And so I don't know if she was expecting that out of me, but I think she was kind of shocked at how cleanly we parted ways. And that's why I don't ever want to get married again. Like, if I break up with, like, if we break up, and it was mutual between me and her, but like, if we break up, or if I break up with somebody, I just want it to be easy. Like, no,
paperwork and all the rigmarole. Yeah. That's totally understandable.
An easy, clean break. We're adults. Like, if it's not working, it's not working. It doesn't matter if it's working for one and not the other. Like, that does matter. You have to, like, let's say that she broke up with me. You know what I mean? Like, even though I like want it to work out, that's not my choice. She's already made the choice that she doesn't want to be in the relationship. Just like if it was the reverse, I decided I don't want to be in this relationship. I don't care how much you want to be in this relationship. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's just the way it should be.
Yeah. But you've got women out there that are like this too, but mostly men, they just cling on to this, and they become crazy, and they fight people, and they stalk, and it's just like, y'all are so fucking dumb. Like, what I mean?
Like, you're gonna ruin your whole life potentially over a girl when I hate to say it this way, there's girls on every corner. Like, go find a different girl. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, I've been single for over 2 years, so.
I was single for 4 before I met Squez. And I always said, anybody that's been on my channel since the beginning knows that I always said, I'm never getting in another relationship. This is the dumbest thing ever. Like, they just end in pain and hurt and whatever. And then I started talking to Squez, and
he batted his eyelashes, didn't he?
That's all it took. That's all it took.
I mean,
you could just tell when people are different, though, too.
Yeah, and I mean, we're humans. We yearn for that. We yearn for that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who says, "Oh, your friend should be enough," I'm like, no, like no. Even friends with benefits is not enough. Like you need that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
so, and it's okay to have that, and it's okay to change that. When you need to. Like, and as I said, I don't go behind somebody's back. If just part ways and just be adults about it.
But I think as a society, we have, like you said, fear of rejection, fear of lots of things anymore, that we don't really talk about things the way we should or the way we're supposed to. And that A is why it goes to break up, and B why we're maybe afraid to start something new, because we're just like, we don't know how to talk to people anymore. um I don't know if that's because of social media. I don't And we're like, only have to say a few things like acronyms on a phone or whatever, or I don't know what, but basically I don't think we know how to talk to people anymore, so that we have those clean breaks or have those like conversations to keep us in the relationship or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I yeah, I don't know. I mean, and the communication is the big part, and like I feel like honestly, like with any of the like dates I've gone on and stuff, like I feel like I over communicate, which is my problem. And everyone's like, "Oh no, that's great, that's great." It's not. Like I can see it's almost like when you talk nerdy to someone. I know, kind of bringing it back to the nerdy thing. Like seriously, when you're talking about your life to people, you can see the moment where they gloss over, and you're like, "I'm talking too much."
Mm-hmm.
Like but that's my problem, is that I try to be as honest as possible, or up as upfront as possible, and it's like then all the mystery's gone, and then my date is like, I don't think this is going to work because there's nothing else there. I don't spill my guts, but it's like,
But
as
are
you
you talking too much, or are we just like, again, back to the internet? We are so used to reading things in lists, like we can't read full news articles anymore. So is it that we have short attention spans? Because I don't know. That's my thought, is that
speed dating for the win. I'm going to speed date. I want to live that meme where I go in there and like a woman sits down, and I'm just like, I die. What do you do first? She says, collect the 7 Dragon Balls and wish you back. We're done here. That I want to live that meme.
I hope to God you do. And if you go speed dating, you have to have like a pin or something on your shirt that's a camera, so that we can all watch.
Oh my god. That would
That is
be
something I would pay to see.
that would be absolutely hilarious. Don't I think there's Twitch streamers that don't they do like online like dating or whatever, where they like have them. I've seen it once, but like where they bring people on their streams, and like they're like dating, like speed dating them or whatever. I've seen it. I don't remember where I saw it, like on Twitch, but it
Yeah, I've
was
seen that before too, just random channels. But yeah, where they're like, "Are you two compatible? Are you from the same area?" And then they go off in a thing. And then if they work, they work. If they don't, they don't.
yeah, imagine if Duggar video games. Imagine if info about your date was stuck behind a paywall.
Oh
I
my
no, I
gosh.
I don't have to imagine, because do you want to talk about dating sites really quick?
Yes. Yes,
Because
absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to change topics without you being able to say what you have
Nope,
to
you're
say.
fine. You're fine.
Okay,
Go ahead.
dating sites. I so after my 6-year relationship that I had with the person that I was with last time,
Mm-hmm.
I got on dating sites. So it is so starkly different from when I first got divorced back in 2012
Mm-hmm.
to when I got out of my relationship in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So 2022 is when we broke up. So and yes, there was a significant gap between when I was divorced and when I started my first major relationship. Um but like yeah, like everything's behind, like people will like the site, I'll sign up for the site, and then it'll be like, oh, somebody liked you, pay 12.99 a week to see who
What?
liked you. Yes. Bumble, I even did Tinder just to see if like what their stuff was,
Uh-huh.
like
You just wanted to
what
get that
like
quick.
what their prices were. I think eHarmony. I still have them downloaded on my phone. I just don't use them anymore. The only one that's actually free is Facebook Dating, and that's a joke.
There, yeah.
And like, yeah, so they'll be like, OK Cupid is another one. And it's like, yeah, they want some obscene amount of money per week. And they're like, oh, somebody liked you. Pay this much to see who.
That is crazy.
And yeah, I don't even recommend online dating, because it's just like, and you can't chat with people. Even if you can't see who liked you, you can't chat with them unless you pay.
I'm gonna have to yell at my sister because I think she uses Bumble a lot and she chats with people. Is it one of those things in the 90s and early 2000s? It was free for women.
It might be. I'm just speaking from a guy's perspective. You know what I mean? Like,
nice, Mage. So right. So, but my sister uses those things a lot. Oh my gosh, if it's $12 a week to talk to people, is that worth it for the? I don't know. Largely, do you just get booty calls out of this?
I signed up for OkCupid for a month. So just to see, I paid. I think I got the package plan that was like $30, right around there for the month. So they gave me a discount. I think it was like $9.99 a week or $32 a month. So I did that. I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to try it. Every single like interest and like that I got was literally from Africa. I'm not even joking. Like, they were literally, I looked them up. They're African countries. I was like,
what does that even mean? Like, are they trying? Is it like 90 Day Fiance thing? Like, is that what that?
I don't know. I set my preferences for within 25 miles. Like, I'm getting literally people from Africa. Like, that is most of what I got on OkCupid. Now, I don't know if OkCupid's, somebody recommended OkCupid to me. That's why I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Sure, why not? I will eat, if I have to eat this $30 for 1 month for this experiment, maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. No, like, I genuinely got maybe 2 interests.
Oh, wait, you didn't like them because they were from Africa, or you didn't want them because they were black?
No, it was just because they were from Africa. Like, they're from literally across the ocean. I don't want somebody to relocate to date me. And I am not relocating to Africa.
Why not? I hear it's a nice balmy 95 degrees right now.
Yeah, okay. And also the warlords over there would love me. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Jesus.
Let's see. I think I was on like Ginger. I was on Plenty of Fish, but I was like, I think it was after my very first major relationship. I've only been with Squez is my fourth. So I've only been with 4 people. So it was after my first relationship, and it was like abysmal because, again, Plenty of Fish is not made for people with brains. Like, if you have basic common sense and you try to talk to people on there, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean,
so like, that was my main experience. I did try Tinder once, and then I realized what it was, but you guys know me, so that shit was not happening. But that was like, literally, I had it for like a week, realized that all people wanted was the thing, and so then I was like, okay, no, this is not me.
Mr. Duck Noose says Squez was my first.
No, he wasn't. I'm leaving that shit alone. Welcome to the chat, Mr. Duck Noose.
I didn't know if that was somebody you knew.
It is.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what are we talking about? Yeah, I was on Plenty of Fish after my marriage, like after my divorce. So, I mean, but I don't even remember. Like, but no, like, dating sites nowadays are just predatory. Like, they predatory on your wallet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just like, you want to do anything on here? Well, fine. Give us some odd amount a week, some odd amount a month.
Like, okay, then how are you supposed to meet people? Because even Leanne was like, Plenty of Fish was horrible. Well, that's because she has a brain, first off. But how are we supposed to meet people as
Okay,
whatever
but
30 something year olds?
but here's the thing though. So you have a way different perspective of it than I do. So for women on dating sites, it's a lot. I don't want to say it's a lot worse, but so it's literally the feast or famine thing. So for women, it's feast. Like, and not saying feast in a good way. Like, I'm saying like just you guys get so much shit that you have to sift through and everything. So for someone like me, and I'm like it's literally like an arid desert where you come across like a puddle every now and then. You know what I mean? Like there's really no interest. You'll like people, or you'll what I do on a dating site is I will read people's profiles. I will send them a message. I will put something from their profile in the message to say, "Hey, I read your message." You know, and nine times,
Mhm.
not nine times, like 50% of the time, they all start off in their little profile thing saying, I know nobody reads these. And I'm like, well, I did. And here's a message proving that I did. And I get nothing. Now I see why a lot of guys will copy and paste like intro messages. And then if they actually get a response, then actually get into it. Because I'm about there. Like I'm just like,
Mhm.
only because it takes so much time for me to read it and actually write something out personalized. It's almost like, why am I wasting my time? It's not like I'm like going through and like messaging every person I come across either. Like I'm, I don't message every single person. I try to make sure it's at least something like there's something there that might connect us or be there might be some interest between us. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
that's why I'm just like, but no, it's literally like, yeah, like a feat. It's famine. It's just, and as I said, and you barely get any responses out there, especially for a guy like me. As I said, I like bleed this good guy like image or something, or the ick, as I call, a lot of people call it. But
It's not really the ick. I think it's like for whatever dumbass reason, girls want to have this like dangerous guy, this bad guy still like I even well into their 30s. They want this specific kind of guy and they don't give people maybe like you a chance because you're too safe. And I don't understand why they wouldn't want the safe thing, but like
I
it
don't know either.
doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And I'm not saying that every woman should want me because I'm safe. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I don't think I'm for it, but it's just I'm like, wow, like I've never really felt this down on myself as I have being on these dating sites, because like you literally get, and I get it, like every woman is looking for their Channing Tatum, you know,
Yes.
and it's like y'all
But
like,
you're in Northeast Ohio. I hope that wasn't too specific, but
no,
like
it's fine.
Channing Tatum does not exist in
Northeast
Northeast
Ohio.
Ohio. I,
Yeah,
I
it's just
hate to break that to them. Like,
well, but that's why you keep seeing these same, like, and it's funny because when I do Facebook dating, I go through there nowadays just for fun to see like
mhm,
what everybody's profile, because I've come across some doozies. I'll have to save them sometime and read them off. And not obviously their names, but reading their like descriptions, because I do read those, and some
mhm,
of them are really really funny.
mhm. So
So
then, like, it seems like you're not opposed to dating again. How do you find your person?
that's what I'm saying.
So if it's not internet, do you go to I don't know, I don't even know if that still exists, but like are Shays in Akron when they have trivia night and have and eat and maybe you'll meet somebody?
No, I mean I go out with my friends. I go out. I know I know you're not going to like this, but I've been starting to go out to the Dusty and do dance lessons.
Why would I not like that? You know, that's like my favorite place in the whole world.
Yeah, but I thought you didn't like it anymore because of instances.
Well, just because racial instances after 2016, it's fine.
Yeah, and I
But
mean,
it's not the
but
people that own it. It's just that the culture has changed.
yes,
That's
it
all.
really, well, yeah, and I mean we here, not to get political, but here in America, that's kind of where
Hmm.
some of that population leads towards, and that drives me nuts too. But
Unfortunately, yes.
that's for World's Gone Insane.
Yes.
But no, I mean, like, so I've gone out. As I said, I go to the Dusty and I do some like I'll do the dance lessons, just getting out there, getting myself
Hmm.
out there. I mostly do it to burn energy, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, I mean, if I meet somebody, I meet somebody.
Can you please, like, I still know a lot of people out there. Can you please, like, have them record you so we can watch your dance lessons?
No, no.
Because
I
I want to see
never,
you do the boot scoot boogie.
I never said I was any good at it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But still, it's just like, it is, it's just not like, I don't know. As I said, I don't know. Again, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Dating. It's actually really funny because I went to a comedy show recently where he was like dating, and I didn't think of it this way. And I know it's stupid not to think of it this way, but like dating sites are toxic. Like they
Mhm.
are more toxic than Facebook, believe it or not. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
and that's why I'm just like, I don't
I
know. And
I tried it, like I said, I tried again just to be like, I changed my profile status to single when I was done with my last relationship and all of that. Do you know how many just like inappropriate pictures that I got in
I
my inbox that
and I
had
believe it.
nothing to do with nothing?
Mhm.
Like,
And that's, I feel bad for women with that. Like, I mean, like that is insanity that men think that it is okay to do that to women, that they are not in a relationship with. Like, if you're in a consensual relationship, feel free to send whatever to
yeah,
each other.
exactly.
But like, like if I just were to start sending like pics to people and just like, I why do people not even like, I don't care how good it looks or how good it is. Like, who who asked for that? Like, who let you think that that was okay to put that out there to somebody who did not ask for it?
Exactly. Like, so
I
yeah, I mean, there's those things too. It's like just being a girl trying to grow her Twitch channel. Do you like?
Mhm.
I can't. Like, I'm not asking to date anyone here, like except for Squez, and he said yes. But we did that normal. Like, we had conversations and played games first before we like yeah. And he never sent me a picture like that. Um, but I I just get so much like barraged with so many different things that it's like, if I wanted to date you, it like any chance of that now is gone. You know that I'm a halfway decent person. I don't really drink. Um I don't know. I'm just a normal whatever person. Like, I like any chance of that, you know, that you had any chance of me wanting to date you is gone now because you have filthy our relationship.
Yeah. But as I said, like, like recently I put myself out there to a friend and I was like, look, I said, I like you.
Ginger.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ginger, I'll take all of your picks, baby.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
Anyway.
but like I recently put myself out there to a friend and I'm like, and I like her. I think that we would actually do really good together. Like, I there would definitely be like, because she's like a redhead and she's like an actual redhead,
Mhm.
but I thought we would do pretty good together. You know what I mean? And one of my philosophies was is when I sat down and thought about it before I put it out there, I was like, I would kind of rather fight with her than be with anybody else at that point.
Mhm.
And as I said, with me it was like, but after that it's like, no, like that was her decision. We're friends, we still see each other. There's obviously that awkwardness, which is fine because that's going to happen. But you know, you, it's not like I'm like, oh, this is what you're missing.
Right.
Like that. You can't, like, I don't know who are your parents who made you think this was okay.
Right. That's that. I don't think we're like the first group of, as millennials, we're like the first group of fully latchkey kids. We didn't really have we had TV to raise us. And the
Oh,
TV got
yes,
consistently like worse.
worse.
To say that in a nice way.
No, I mean it's right. I mean, as I said, I mean, as I said earlier, I grew up. I had really good parents, um, except for my mom smoked while she was pregnant with me. That explains a lot.
Oh, that
Um,
explains so much.
but and then she stopped when she got pregnant with my brother. Mom,
Well, she learned from her actions.
right?
She saw
Um,
what you came out to be, and then
yep.
you did.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. She's like, oh, this little. Anyway, uh, but so but it's like my parents raised me the right way, and that's why I in my profession, which I work in occupational therapy, I don't want to work with kids, not because I don't like kids. I love kids.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably get myself fired because I would see bad parenting and say something stupid,
Yeah.
because parents are very paramount in being
Mm-hmm.
involved in these kids' lives and making them. And I'm sorry, like, people don't parent their kids anymore. They really, really don't. By the way, there's a wild rock ruff that appeared. I'm gonna catch it. I
In my
keep on
chat,
seeing it pop up, and I'm just like, I want to say one time that I'm
I
gonna catch
need to probably disable that for when we do this, but
it. Yeah, it's
I
fine.
figured it gives people something to do because we're not really focusing on chat.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I get it. I don't know. Like, see, and this is where I'm torn because I was a foster kid. I had one section of time in my life that was good, and I had good parents, but even they gave me up. So it was like I don't think that I'm half like a half bad person. So I don't know. I feel differently towards that just
But
because of my
there,
upbringing.
okay, so but there's a difference there, because when I say parent, I don't mean mom and dad necessarily. If you cannot be with your mom and dad and be raised well,
Mm-hmm.
and I honestly don't know 100% your background. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how, like, you how when you came up in, like, the foster system and stuff like that, like how that treated you, but like, I feel like there's a difference between parenting and being a mom and a dad. You can be at two people can be a mom and a dad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can do the deed, they can have a kid. That doesn't mean they're good parents. You can be with two people that are not your biological parents,
Mm-hmm.
and they can be good parents to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, and I'm not saying this is your situation, but you could be in a foster home for most of your life. And if there are good parents, like, not necessarily, as I said, not necessarily mom and dad, but good people in your life that parent you, you can still turn out to be a good kid. The problem is that we've got all of these kids that are in these households. And I don't necessarily even 100% blame the parents, because, like, you've got both parents working,
Mm-hmm.
you've got all, and you've got people like, grandma's watching the kid, but grandma's doing this. And it's like, the kids are just being slingshotted all over the place, and they just don't
Right.
feel like they're the number, even though they probably are, they don't feel like they're the number one priority in
Mm-hmm.
people's lives, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
that's because everyone's got to worry about bringing in money and keeping the roof over their head and making
Mm-hmm.
sure everything's provided. And I mean, that's a whole other topic we can go into about capitalism. But
Yeah.
again, world's gone insane.
No, I think I got lucky just because like I was nerdy, and so like, and I didn't like to be in trouble, and because of my autism that I didn't know I had, I like to follow the rules. So I tried to stay like, within my box and what I was supposed to be doing and all of those things. And then when I got a little bit older and I was able to start working on campaigns for different candidates, like I was hanging out with adults. So then like they were trying to help me be good people because most people in those situations are not assholes. I mean, some of them are probably, but like if you're going out of your way to volunteer for something like that, you generally are trying to make the country better. So at least back then.
Yeah, at least back then. I mean, I don't know about nowadays. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah. So but yeah, that can be a topic for another day. Um
Yeah.
but yeah, so overall though, I think I am happy with the relationship that I am in right now. Like it's probably my best one, and I'm happy that my last one was crap and maybe the one before that was a crap or ended crappily. because I learned so much from that one to know how to be in this one, if that makes sense. So, what's the matter?
No, nothing. I'll tell you later.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just something I was thinking I was gonna do it, and I'm like, no.
Just do it.
When he went, huh?
I said, just do it.
Okay. I was like, how do you think the relationship's going? I think it's going well.
Oh my God. Well, at least, you guys have lots in common.
Oh God. I think on that note, we're at an hour. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We're gonna probably jump off here now. I'm so thankful that you guys decided to come in and hang out with us. Like, chat was popping. Sorry that I missed the raid, Mike. I don't know if you're still here, but I'm so thankful for that. We're doing a podcast today, so it's hard to have all the extra stuff. But I'm grateful for that. But yeah, lovely seeing you too, Duck and Leanne and everybody else, and Ginger. Yeah. We're gonna. I don't know what next week's or next time's topic will be, but it will most likely be on January. I have no idea. Oh wait, is that February already? Holy crap!
Well, we'll talk. I mean, my only thing is yeah, it'll be February 1st is the 2 Saturdays from now. The only thing is that if we keep doing it on this every other, then it'll be the weekend I have the kids, and we might have to, like, it just depends on what I have going on.
Okay, do you want to shuffle it? Well, we'll figure that out and let you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can figure that out
on our social medias. Please make sure you go to NerdTube Twitch and follow them. Please follow Milk Toast Cheetos Twitch over there. He's one of my preferred streamers on Twitch, so please go follow him there. We also, I'm going to be a part of NerdTube. I don't know how much I'll be regular streaming on my own channel, but I'm a part of NerdTube, so you'll see me there. On World's Gone Insane sometimes, as long as they want me.
We always want you on there, Winnie. Come on. You are wonderful. We love you.
No, you're wonderful.
Oh God. No, you're wonderful. No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Gross. Oh my God.
All right. You want to take us on out of here?
Yeah, all right. So do you have anything you want to say, like when your next stream is or anything like that?
No, I mean, I randomly stream on Milk Toast. NerdTube, we normally do, we review nerdy things. We talk about nerdy things. We have a World's Gone Insane podcast that Ginger Greek normally leads. That's like mostly political, and then we talk about some nerdy things, but that's kind of his political outlet. That's their political outlet. But yeah, so I just want to thank everybody for being here. For the if you're watching on NerdTube and if you're watching on Winslow's Only Hope, this is something new. It's something different. And this is kind of what me and her were talking about doing months ago when we kind of wanted to get this started, and life gets in the way. Life sucks. But I thank everybody from all channels and everything for being here. I appreciate everybody with the support.
And like I said, we'll let you know with an infographic on on social media. So make sure you're following us on all of our social medias. We have a Facebook group if you guys want to come. We have our I don't know what you call them on Facebook. It's
the Nerd Nation is the one that I use.
Nerd Nation, yes. Yeah. And then if you want to follow us there, obviously follow us on our individual Twitches. He streams a lot of, I don't know, Final Fantasy.
Nerdy games. I mean, I do
what
retro.
Was that space sim you were doing?
The what?
The space sim. I don't know. Anyway,
the space station sim. Yeah, that's over. Don't worry, that's over. That was a passion. That was a passion project of mine. I love that game, but it's cringe. Like, to watch it, I'm like, ooh. I went back and watched some of that. I'm like, ooh, yeah, this is kind of hard to watch.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. We will see